All right, so today we're diving into a spot you sent our way, Sosúa Beach.
Sosúa Beach.
In Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic, North Coast.
You shared some fascinating stuff about it from a website dedicated to all things Sosúa Beach. So we're going to take a deep dive into that and see what we can find.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're going to pull out the most interesting, the most helpful, the most fascinating information about Sosúa Beach.
Okay.
And try to paint a picture for you.
All right.
Of what it's all about. So, starting with location, Sosúa Beach is located in a bay on the north coast of the Dominican Republic.
Right.
And it's this bay setting that contributes to Sosua's crystal clear waters. Why is that?
Well, I think you can think of a bay as almost like a natural shelter.
Okay.
So it often means calmer waters, and that contributes to better visibility. I'm sure you've been in the ocean or a lake or something where the water's kind of murky.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to see what's down there. But calmer waters generally means clearer water, and that means better visibility for snorkeling. And it also means that it's just more pleasant.
Sure.
To swim in, I would think.
Yeah.
And then also it's good for marine life because you can have a wider diversity
Oh, interesting.
of marine life that flourishes closer to the shore. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And the last point on the bay setting that they mention is that the beach is lined with trees, which provide a natural shade. And that can be a lifesaver,
Oh, for sure.
especially in a tropical place like that.
Oh, 100%. The Dominican Republic, yeah. It's going to be hot and sunny there.
Yeah, so some natural shade would be nice.
Definitely a big plus.
Yeah.
Okay, and it sounds like Sosúa Beach has a lot to offer in terms of like amenities. Right on the beach.
Yeah.
It's all right there, you know?
Yeah, it seems very convenient.
Yeah. Feels like a restaurant.
Well, restaurants, bars, gift shops,
Tour operators.
tour operators, art vendors.
It's all right there.
Yeah.
Show up with a towel and you're good to go.
Yeah, and also it seems like there's a lot of international cuisine available.
Okay.
So they mention English. I don't know what English food is, but
Fish and chips.
yeah, I guess. German,
Okay.
Jamaican, Italian, French, Serbian, Austrian, and North American.
Wow. So yeah, that tells you something, right? That this is a place that's been
Yeah.
popular with a diverse crowd for quite some time.
Right. I mean, I guess if you're marketing a place to a very international crowd,
Yeah.
you got to offer a lot of different types of food,
Yeah.
or people might not come.
Right.
So, yeah. And then the other thing they mentioned that I thought was interesting is the local artists.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a nice touch that you can kind of get a little bit of that
Yeah.
local culture right there.
Yeah.
Alongside like the more practical diving centers and things like that.
Right. So they got kind of like a mix of like touristy stuff and like a little more.
Yeah, a little bit more authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Local stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's something that really jumped out at me. In 2018, Sosúa Beach got a whole lot bigger, almost overnight. What happened?
So, yeah, it's kind of incredible. It sounds like a natural movement of sand from other areas. It wasn't like a human engineered project. It was just nature doing its thing. And it sounds like it was quite significant. They say that the sand line expanded more than 3 times
Wow.
its previous size.
Okay.
And the beach gained about 50 meters in length.
Yeah.
And it reached all the way to the Victorian House and Sosua Bellamar hotels. So pretty big change.
Yeah. Like if you imagine the beach
Yeah.
that you're used to, let's say you were a regular visitor to Sosúa Beach and then you went back after 2018,
Right.
it would look completely different.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about gaining 50 meters in length.
Yeah.
It's huge.
That's a lot of beach.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all that extra beach, what is there to do at Sosúa Beach? What did this website say?
So it sounds like a pretty wide range of activities.
Right.
So I mentioned water sports.
Okay.
Fishing tours, yacht parties. There are top diving sites, so you can imagine anything from like a fun kind of banana boat ride,
Yeah.
to something more kind of I don't know, serene and luxurious, like a yacht party.
Right. Or, like scuba diving.
Yeah.
Something adventurous.
Yeah. Okay.
Something for everyone.
Cool. And then it's not just the Sosúa Beach itself, right? There are other nearby attractions that you can access from Sosúa Beach.
Exactly.
What kind of stuff?
So they mentioned ATV tours,
Okay.
Playa Dorada Golf, and then 5 minutes away is Cabaret Day.
Oh, wow.
which is known for surfing and kite surfing. And then there's this El Choco eco-friendly park.
So it sounds like, you can spend your day at the beach.
Yeah.
You can go play some golf,
Yeah.
do some ATV riding, or maybe, go surfing or kite surfing, and then also check out a nice park.
Cool. And how about families? What does this website have to say about families with children?
So, they point out that many areas of the beach have shallow waters,
Okay.
which makes it, safer for children.
So, yeah.
Obviously, you still need to, supervise your kids.
Of course.
But and then the other thing that they mentioned that I thought was interesting is the chaise lounges with food and drink service,
Oh, very nice.
because that's a big plus.
Yeah.
When you have kids, that you don't have to schlep everything yourself.
Yeah. Or schlub them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. And then beyond all that, what about the atmosphere?
Yeah.
What kind of general vibe did you get about the scenery, like the view and all that?
Yeah, it sounds like it's kind of the classic.
Caribbean picture postcard scene.
Yeah.
So they mentioned banana boats, anchored yachts,
Okay.
blue sky,
Oh yeah.
and the backdrop of the Isabel de Torres mountain. So I think it sounds like one of those views that kind of makes you feel like you're on vacation.
Yeah.
You can just kind of relax and forget about everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, the website also goes into the history of Sosua Beach, and it's a pretty fascinating story. So it wasn't always just a beach destination, right? What was it before that?
Yeah, so I guess
Yeah.
back in the early 20th century, it was a banana plantation under the United Fruit Company.
Okay.
And the bay was used as a cargo port.
Interesting.
But then, the plantation closed, and they granted the land to around 1,000 Jewish refugees
Wow.
who were fleeing Hitler's invasion during World War II.
That is incredible.
Yeah, and that's a pretty
Yeah.
amazing piece of history.
Yeah.
That this beach that's now a tourist destination
Yeah.
was once a haven.
For people.
Yeah.
Fleeing, unimaginable horrors.
Yeah, so they were granted refuge in Sosua Beach.
Right. And it sounds like the Dominican Republic was actually the only place
Wow.
that offered them refuge.
That's really incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so it became a tourist destination much later, is that right?
Yeah, so it sounds like it started becoming popular in the mid-1980s.
Okay.
And that coincided with Puerto Plata being declared the Dominican Republic's first tourist destination.
Gotcha. So it just kind of naturally followed that.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And finally, the website covers some practical stuff for people who might be considering a visit.
Yeah.
What's the gist of all that?
Well, they mentioned that there's real estate available.
Okay.
So you could buy a house or a condo
Okay.
there if you wanted to.
Interesting.
And then they mentioned souvenir shops,
Okay.
so you can get your little trinkets.
Yeah. Take home a little piece of
Yeah.
Sosua with you.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last thing they mentioned, which I think is always important, is checking the weather information online before you go. You don't want to show up and it's pouring rain the whole time.
Right. Yeah. So true. Okay. So to wrap it all up, what we have learned is that Sosua Beach is on the north coast of the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
You've got these amazing crystal clear waters thanks to its location in a bay.
Yeah.
It's got all the amenities you could possibly need.
Right.
Right there. Restaurants, bars, gift shops.
Everything you could possibly need.
Yeah. It's all right there.
Yeah.
In 2018, the beach basically tripled in size thanks to this natural movement of sand.
Yeah. That was incredible.
Pretty wild. There are tons of activities to choose from, both on the beach and in the surrounding area. So you've got water sports, banana boats, yacht parties.
ATV riding, golf.
Yeah, golfing. You can go to an eco-friendly park. You can go surfing and kite surfing nearby in Cabaret.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a really great spot for families.
It's very family friendly.
It is.
With those shallow waters and lots of amenities. It sounds just like idyllic, really beautiful.
Yeah.
With the banana boats and the yachts and the blue sky and this incredible mountain in the background.
Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, just this fascinating history going back to a banana plantation.
Yeah.
And then becoming a safe haven for Jewish refugees during World War II.
Right.
It's got so many layers to it, this beach.
It does. It's quite a place.
Yeah.
So as we've been talking about all this, for you, what stands out to you the most about Sosua Beach? Is it that natural beauty, the activities, the family friendliness, the history as a haven for refugees? And thinking about all of that, what does it tell us about how places evolve over time, how they can hold different meanings for different people throughout history. Do you think maybe you might want to go there and see it for yourself now?
That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
All right, so are you ready to explore a place with history even more vibrant than its beaches?
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, today we're diving deep into Sosúa in the Dominican Republic.
Sosua. Okay, I'm listening.
You know, when you mentioned you were interested in both travel and history, this spot just like immediately popped into my head.
I can see why you'd make that connection.
Yeah, and based on what I've read in this travel website about Sosúa, I think you're going to be absolutely fascinated by this place.
Oh, really? Fill me in.
So we're talking about a haven for Jewish refugees during World War II.
Wow.
Incredible fusion cuisine, and even whispers of buried pirate treasure.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite a mix.
Right.
I'm particularly interested to learn more about that Jewish community you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's not a connection you typically make when you think of a Caribbean island.
Exactly. It's not the first thing that comes to mind, right?
No, not really.
Okay, so picture this. It's the 1930s, Europe is in turmoil, and hundreds of Jewish families are desperately seeking refuge from Nazi persecution.
A truly desperate time.
And where do some of them end up?
I'm guessing Sosua.
You got it. The sunny shores of Sosúa, thanks to an offer of asylum from the Dominican dictator Trujillo.
Trujillo. Huh. That's interesting given his